Hey everybody, this is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Wednesday, and you know what happens on Wednesday. Woo! It's time for our money mindset coach, Caren all the way from Toronto, Canada. We want to give a shout out to our producer, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, and my partner at Biz Chicks. And I'm Tirolina from California Cover Ups. And this is Biz Chicks TV. So we want to welcome you. We invite you to sit back, relax. We're going to give you some tips and tools to get this thing done and to help you focus, direct your mind in a way that's going to benefit your business. So today we're here with Coach Caren. How you doing, Coach?
I am well. I am well. And this is February. This is love month. And the love for you that I want to see for you and your business is to make money in it. So today, all this month, we're talking
Hi.
sales.
We
All this
love
month,
making money.
all this month, we're talking sales. And so let me just run back just over here for a little tiny bit. For the first week, we talk about for sales and how it feels with the mind and stuff. And last week we cover successes of sales and that sort of thing. And this week, and I hinted at the end of it about mind's vision and mission. And so I'm going to dive in, as I promised last week, to really talk a bit about mission and vision. I'm sure you heard it before. You've heard it spoken of.
Listen to me. Talk to us like we never heard it before, because we never know who's listening.
Right.
And you never know what we need to be reminded of.
Right.
So
I thought
this is real elementary for us, because here's the deal. At Biz Chicks, we don't like complicated crap. Just give it to us straight, Caren.
straight to the point.
I'm ready.
So mission and vision we're going to talk about today. And what does that have to do? The mind. I tell you, when you understand that stuff, your mind just turn. You do a shifting that happens, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're starting to think. Mission and vision have a lot to do with your why in business, because these are the places, once you really form a business, this is a place to go back to. And this is your foundation. This is why you started. If you're in a rut with sales, these are the places you go back and look. You have to have a place to call upon. And going and looking at your vision and mission will really help you to see, am I still doing what I say I set out to do? Or am I shifting and changing and that sort of thing? Because that's how the money rolls in, or doesn't. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the vision. Even though I love talking about the mission first, today I'm talking about the vision first, because when you start a business, even though you said my mission in life is whatever, it comes from that dream, that vision that you've had or have been, prolonging, or you might be in a situation where you had a vision, you didn't do anything with it, but then somebody next to you or a relative or something was spoken and it triggers it, and you go right back into it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a vision before I talk about mission. All right. So your vision, what is it? It's the ability to see what others can't see.
Oh, we need to write that down. Somebody put that in the chat. Hey, Al. The vision is the ability to see what others can't see.
Can't see. It's in your mind. And I remember trying to describe what I wanting to do. And I was little, so I wasn't able to really speak it the way that I was feeling and seeing it in my mind, but I knew what I wanted. So I had to visually express it to people eventually, but I had the vision. The vision is there. Most people know what they want to do in business, but they're afraid. And so here's the things that happen. Because of its ability to see what others can see, there's 5 things. Well, there's a lot of more things, but I'm covering 4 today. There's 4 things that happen with your vision that either make it move forward or not with it. A, courage. B.
All right, I'm making a list. Hold on, courage. Okay.
B, creativity.
Creativity.
C, self-confidence. And that get built in over time. So don't be afraid of that one. And D, self-control. This part, big. There's discipline, All those things are tied in there, but self-control is so big. And I'll talk about it in, eventually. So
Mhm.
courage is the ability to act despite fear. Most people say,
Ah,
you're courageous. That doesn't mean you don't feel the fear. Like, you stand up and you do what you got to do, even when you're feeling fear. I remember one of my biggest fears, and at the time, as I told you guys my story, I had help with my sister to school, and the kids were making noise in the classroom. And the teacher I had at the time, she was a deputy principal, and she came back and she said, each and every one of you need to write 1,000 times. I must not make noise in the classroom. And I took out the paper and I wrote on it, I would love to write this 1,000 times, but it's not going to happen. I've got a child to pick up a daycare. And I plastered on her desk and I left. She was, I was afraid, but I was more afraid of leaving my sister at the daycare. So
mhm.
although I was fair, and everybody feel like I was so brave to do it, but this was a bigger fear that was happening to me. And of course, I knew I had gonna pay for it next day when I show up at school, because I wasn't the kind of kid that never went back to school. So I showed up and I was toppled off to the principal office, because how dare me write such a statement
Yes.
to her, right? And
How
she asked
old were
me,
you?
I
Like
probably was about 10 by then.
elementary school. Okay, yeah.
you
Fourth,
know,
fifth grade. Yeah,
yeah. It was
they
like,
weren't having it.
no,
Go ahead.
yeah, and but I had to write. And the principal asked me, and I explained to her. I said, and I would write it, you know. And she said, so would you write it now? I said, there's no way, because I didn't make any noise. You see, I got my work done, and I have proof
Mhm.
of it. I didn't talk. I know everybody's getting chastised for the person who made the noise, but I will not write it. I don't care what you do to me. I'm not writing it. That was my first thing. That's why I didn't
Wow.
proceed. Like,
Okay, that
now,
was
I'm not
bold.
gonna sit. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and and pretend I wasn't shivering in my boots. I'm like, they're gonna suspend me. I was thinking all the things they can do to me, but I was
Mhm.
standing my ground. So my face wasn't expressing it, but inside of me was feeling, all these feelings. I'm saying this so you know that even when we're being courageous, there's a lot of things that's happening within our head and our body at the same time, but we have to stand our ground. Okay, so this is your vision, so you have to have the courage to do what you need to do. You really do. You got to push through whatever fear there is.
Mhm.
Whatever fear there is. Okay, so the creativity part is the ability to think outside the box. Anytime you're starting a business, because most businesses at this moment, we all at least know some tingent or somebody who does what we do or we would like to do. It is
Mhm.
hard to say, I'm the only one doing this. But when you allow your creativity to shine, you start thinking about it in a different manner. And when I
Mhm.
started thinking about the money mindset, being a money mindset coach, I had to decide, where do I fit? Because people come at me with debt repayment and all different potion, and people share information that I didn't ask them for, but they decided I needed it and what I should do. And I had to sit with myself and truly embrace my vision and how I want to go about it. And it really didn't matter how long it took to take off, because it was my vision and I was going to stick with it. And it initially was so simple that it didn't make sense to a lot of people, but it made sense to me, and that was important, because anything I decide to do, it has to really make sense to me. I have to be excited and enjoy doing it over a long period of time. And I knew I could do this because I love to count money. I like to talk about money. And I started writing down all the different areas that I would work within money. But because I don't want a scarce mentality and all of that, not like we mustn't talk about that, is that I didn't want the focus be on it, because then
Mhm.
that's where my energy would lie, and that's what I'll be dealing with. So you got to be creative in whatever it is you choose to do. You got to find joy in it. You got to find happiness in it, and you got to find, when you find in those things, then your creativity just expand, and you can't believe how wide and tall you can grow at the same time.
Mm.
All right. So number C was self confidence,
Mhm.
and that's the ability to withstand criticism.
Ah, that is a different definition than what I'm used to.
Yeah, I mean, there's others. You can go in there and find the others, but it's to withstand criticism. Um, And and I'll tell you why, because I think I didn't get so much home because maybe I never paid attention to that. Probably got it, but I never really paid attention to it. But coming to North America, it was more wide open, and people weren't afraid then to tell me, uh, and criticize what I was doing. And but by then I had grown so far into myself that it didn't really matter. But I
Mm-hmm.
can really see how other people would just shy away from what they can do and what they could do because of being criticized, or they themselves, because when you're being criticized and it is so powerful to you as a person, it's really because you were not sure of your skill set. You were not sure of the expert you are. You
Mm.
were waiting for this outside force to say to you or pat you on your shoulder about how good you are. When you stand in your truth without a doubt that I can do here really well. I had a friend that really is such a boss hairdresser, but she didn't believe it. But she was so good that she would allow on the charge, allow people to walk out without paying her, afraid to call them on it. It was so ongoing. It was so painful to watch. And I knew her through a friend of mine. So it wasn't a direct friendship, but we grew to get close because I couldn't stand it. So I couldn't shut my mouth. So of course I was sitting there Saturday getting my hair done, washed and treated. And that time I was perming. And this woman was saying to her, Jay, I don't have enough money this Saturday, but next 2 weeks I'm going to make it up to you. I'm traveling home, so I need money to take home with me. And I don't know what get up inside of me, but I stood between her and my friend by then, and I said, "You're not leaving here until you pay Jay her money." She's like, "You know me?" I said, "Well, if you can go home to wherever you from, you can pay Jay."
Mm-hmm.
And if the whole place stood still because it was a home salon at the time. And her mom came down, and her mom was like, "You know how long we want to say this, but nobody seemed to be brave enough to be able to say it." And she was feeling so bad because somebody from her homeland, she's feeling so bad to say anything. And the woman was just shocked. So she just stood there and she was fuming, but she took the money out and she threw it on the ground. And she
Okay.
and I told my friend, I said, "You need to take her out of your book, your
For
appointment."
real,
She
because that is a bad attitude about
Yes.
paying for services.
I said she need to come out of your address book, an appointment book. And she said, "Karen," I said, "No, she need to come out so that two more people can come in. She needs to go. I mean, I pay you and I tip you. This woman is not even paying you." And I mean, that's how that I end up not even going to my part-time job. I made her give me her books. I looked through them to see who was owing her, who didn't pay her. We were scratching people out.
Wow.
We became such good friends because I was so angry for her because she was so good. I always say this: people who are hairdressers and hairstylists, she was both. She was just a gift from God. I mean, she would take no matter what's going on with your hair. When she's done with you, you're slick. You're good to go. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able, and she was afraid. It's a lot
Ah.
of fear was playing into her and her being. So her mindset wouldn't allow her, her mind behaviors wouldn't allow her
Mm-hmm.
to be able to be this, this person she need to be in her business. And so you have to be able because we're afraid of bad reviews. So who is this woman's gonna tell about this experience? So we're afraid. What is she going to do to me when there's just different things that happen in our mind, and it takes us sometimes back to childhood days, school days, if you went to university days, just different things that might have happened to you in your life. It starts playing up in the front of your mind, so you think you need to let them get away with it. No, you don't. You call them out on it and you get them to do what you need them to do, and you start saying to yourself, if I get a bad review, it's okay. It's okay. And you can, and these days online, you can write a rebuttal to the review, so it's not the end of the world. And those days when it wasn't like that, if somebody called to find out, you don't end up in gossip. You just say, "My services has changed, and this is how it's going to be from now on, and here's the da da da," and you fix that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to withstand the criticism because people's going to talk about you. There's no question they're going to talk about you. When I helped my mom grow her business at one
Uh-huh.
point in our lives. She used to, we call it debt here, but home we call it trust. So she'll trust people and they'll pay on Fridays. And then they come with a sad story on Fridays so that they can pay the following Friday. When she wasn't around and I was running things, there's no such thing. You come with no money, you get nothing. You come with no money, you get nothing. So I was criticized a lot. Everybody would say, if Miss Norm is not there, don't bother go if you don't have any money. That's good because you need money to buy what she got.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And yes, I'm telling you all this, but that's because I grow as a person. So I understand when it first happened to you, you feel devastated. I just want you to know I'm not the wall. So I do feel and I do understand how it makes you feel. But you have to build yourself by building up your confidence so that when this happens, if you're hurting, you go write about it. You go pray
Mhm.
sorry, or go in your washroom and cry about it. But dry your face and come back out
Wow.
to deal with
Hey, Vanessa, how you doing? Yeah. Wow. You know, so these are such subtle things. I don't think we really think about when we're running a business, how we these mind games really do make a difference in how we do our business.
Yes, it
And I
does.
never looked at confidence as the ability to withstand criticism. And it just makes sense because everybody has an opinion about how you should run your business,
Thank you.
what you should make, what you should sell, how you should provide services. Everybody's got their own opinion, and it's usually people who aren't doing anything.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, I wouldn't do it that way because you wouldn't do anything,
Thank
leave
you.
alone this thing, because, you know, our gifts and our talents are specific to the individual.
It really
So
is.
we're not just, let me put it this way, just like when you walk in people's kitchens, no two women set a kitchen up alike.
Thank you.
You know, well, mom kept it over there. Okay, but I want it over here. And grandma kept it up there, or my best friend kept it over here. But when I finish over the course of years, I have that kitchen the way I want it.
Exactly. You are on point, Terry. When I used to be an organizer for people, I always ask how you cook. What do you reach for? What do you get?
What
How
do
you
you
sleep?
use the most?
Yeah. How you sleep at night? Which part of the bed you sleep on? What do you like to grab? Those are important things for me to ask the homeowner so that when we set things up, she could actually enjoy the process, the results from the processes. She don't want to get in her house and she's like, let's go put all my spices over there and I bake over here. Like,
Exactly.
you're
Exactly.
on point. You're on point. So you have to be able to. This leads into your vision. We run back to that. And there was self control. And
Mm,
self control is the ability to delay gratification.
mm.
And this part is so hard. It's harder these days. Oh my gosh, it's so harder. Self control, understanding that your office might need a new desk, but if the desk you're using can write on, don't go out and buy the desk. If the business is bringing you no money, don't
Mm.
buy the desk. Sit on the desk. Let the desk irritate and frustrate you enough to bring more money into your business so you can buy the desk with ease, not on your card. So now you pay for the desk twice. So that now that you're complaining, you're frustrated. So you can't pay attention to the work you're supposed to do because you want the money on your credit card.
Mm, mhm.
Stay on the desk. Stay on the desk and work your butt off so that you can get to where you need to get to. Yes, I say work your butt off because that's what anybody who's successful has done. Work their butt off to get there. And it looks easy because you didn't see when they were working their butts off.
I think we need to work like we're trying to get something for our children. You know how when a kid wants something for Christmas and you start in January paying for it, or putting money aside for it because you know Christmas is coming and there's going to be some requests.
Yes,
And you don't want to see that look of,
disappointment and on their faces. So you're working towards it. That's it.
if we worked for ourselves the way we work for our children, to make their dreams come true. My God, what would happen to our business?
I tell you,
Because
I
I mean, there is not a parent on this program or someone who has a loved one that they haven't worked hard to make happy. There's someone in your life you're working hard to make happy. My question today is it you?
all right then. Don't forget to go to the front of your own line.
Is
That
it you?
statement is so true when you just said what you said. Come on now. Come on now. That's what you have to look forward to. So your vision is the ability to see what others can't see. And those things that I named is what you have to tackle once you decide to put your vision in action. This is going to come to you in different shapes and form, but you have to go back. This was my vision. This is what I set out to do. Don't get distracted and sidetracked about these things. Don't let somebody's pricing of their product because yours didn't sell right away make you discount it. Don't try to get cheaper material if you're making something with a certain standard. Your price was right so that somebody can buy it for $10. You have to be at the sewing machine if you were sewing. So many sewing tips to get that $10 to round itself up. You're tired. You have no time to sell it because you're so busy whipping out the $10 pans or whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
can't, you wonder why you can't get ahead because your mind is so boggled down with this $10 that you need. When I first read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read it so many times and I'm rereading it right now, by the way, because I was looking to finish, I think, 4 books already for the year because I was just into a lot of books that I wanted to get ahead and I got gifts. I always get gifts at Christmas time with books and I get all excited and probably read them out too quick. Anywho, I was so excited when I read it, and I'm rereading it again because I'm out of my book. So I was like, this is exactly it. People need to really understand how to not have anything and allow their minds to formulate how they're going to get something and then
Mm-hmm.
act upon it. That's your vision. And that's how people say, I can make money out of thin air. The first time I heard I could make money out of thin air, I was like, how's that? And then when it's broken down, I said, oh, I did that before. I made money out of thin air several times. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I just have never put it that way, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's just about multiplication. It's like
Yes,
that orange.
girl, out of thin air. And that's what you really have to know. That these subjects get me excited. What have to do with sales? When you are worried about your sales, you get to go back to these things. You get to see what part you're lacking. What part of that ability you need to hone in, what skills need to really get massage and spend some time with. So you can see where you're leaning, and if your house is sliding, the mud is sliding it down. It's not standing firm. If the foundation needs some work, and a lot of work, we hear your why, but if you go back to your vision and your mission statement, you really understand where things lie. So let's talk a little bit before we run out of time about the mission statement. The vision for me was bigger because it is what you dreamed of and what you're working on. The mission statement, according to Google, and I went to pull this up, and I'll tell you about mine. It's a good mission statement can surprise, inspire, and transform any business. And this is true. It should provide a clearly stated purpose for your business and the goal you have for succeeding. It should be hand in hand with your beliefs, I think, and your culture, the look, the feel, the touch, and the taste. And when you wrap those two things up together, you can't help uh, about growing into a really good business. My food business had expanded and grown so much because I really was in it with the people that bought from me, that come see me, even when they're not buying, even when they come for just questions. I was wrapped up with them. I remember when I first started my import export business, and my sister was a sales rep for that business because I was busy in the food business, and she needed a job, and I said, you know what, Lisa, I'm just going to hire you to do sales. She said, I can't sell. I said, well, this is your time to shine, and I'll teach, and you'll do. And she ended up being a really good sales person. And she got this guy who would order so much stuff from me. He said, I want to meet the port. I want to see the face behind the person who's doing this stuff. And she said, I don't know. And she came in after, she said, could I bring him to meet you? I'm not sure if I'm like, yes, bring him, no problem. And he came and he sat with me. He ended up eating dinner and he was feeling so good. My grandma keeps saying, we don't know this person. Can you just invite them for dinner? I said, He has spent thousands of dollars with me. Of course, I invite him for dinner. He just wanted to meet me and talk business. That's really what it was. He wanted
Mm-hmm.
to hear my vision. He wanted to know what inspired me, what started this off, because he was in a place where he sold retail wise and I was selling him wholesale, and he wanted to get into the wholesale end of things, but he was so afraid and nervous, and he'd never left Guyana before. So he wanted to travel, and that intrigued him too, and I was younger than him also. And so we built such a great relationship over time that, I mean, I never had to anything that was imported, we never sit with it more than 48 hours. Between him and a bunch of people that he referred, we were sold out. If you wanted something, you needed to order it before it come in, because you couldn't depend on buying when it landed. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
name was on it, waiting to receive it, And was such a good relationship that was built between him and I over time. And you have to be able to be the kind of a person, even if you're an introvert, even if you don't like people, you're going to have to allow that side of you, even if you need prep time. Because now that I've met so much introverts, I understand that how it wears on their spirit and their emotions. And so they're not like how I am, like, yes, come on and let's do this. I get it. But what you need to do is just build upon whomever you are, and then allow the normal process to happen. And that's your culture. That's people getting into what you believe in, because the conversation will come up and you'll tell them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when they get to know you by this. And when I say feel, touch, and taste, it doesn't have to be food. Taste, you ever hear that Terry, I'm sure you know this, you're walking, you could literally taste something even if you're not eating it. This thing give you a taste to it. The look and the feel we understand, and touch, because you could do that. But the taste without food is so important part of your business and the branding of your business. People can almost taste it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in their throat. What that really means that it brings about some kind of memory, and that's why they can
Ah,
taste.
gotcha.
And when you evoke the memory that is good to them, then they feel good about themselves and they want to purchase. That's where that taste part comes in.
Ah.
And so when you understand this is the part of your mission and how you serve and how your customer is going to be treated and looked after, anytime you go to sell and you get, the no, I don't want it, it's not good stuff. And you know that you've been through this and you understand this, they're just not your customer. And that's the only reason they're not buying.
Okay.
And it's okay. It's not because of price, and it's not because your product is not good. It's just because they're not your customer. They might be a referrer. They could be a affiliate for you if they're good and genuine. They might even be a cheerleader of some sort, because they got different kinds, but they might not be a purchaser. I often say I had a friend, never used to buy much from me, but boy, could she send me clients. She would just chat about everything I do. And she's like, yeah, go find my friend. She ain't buying none. And that's okay, because Christmas time and her birthday, she gets the best gifts from me. I send her all kinds of stuff because she actually keeps me, that part of my business at the time going, even though she wasn't purchasing, because she
There you
said
go.
who will purchase. Not everybody's
Yeah.
gonna purchase from you. So you gotta really look and see what's going on. And this whole month we're talking about sales. And I know I talk about vision and mission, but this is part of what you would want to think about on your sales journey. Because if you're not selling in your business, you're not doing business.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Brenna. How you doing?
Oh, hi, Brenda. How are you doing, girl?
Okay. Well, now we talked about vision. We talked a little bit about mission, and perhaps we should continue mission again next Wednesday, so that we can get more clarity about what mission really does entail, like you did for vision. Because
Vision, yes.
I
Yeah,
thought
because I
that
went deeper into vision and I just skim over mission.
yes,
I
yes.
feel like
Is that okay?
yes, that's okay.
Because
That's
I feel like we just skimmed over mission.
yes.
Because
I got
we
more notes,
talked
but
about time constraints.
time. I'm looking at the time, so
Hmm. But I do. understand the four parts of vision, which are, let me see if I can remember. I know creativity, self uh, self control, wait a minute, courage, and there's one more, confidence,
Yes.
the ability to
Yes.
withstand criticism.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
so I can digest that. For those of you who are just joining us or are watching on the replay, this was a great session. I really encourage you to go back and see it from the beginning if you didn't catch the beginning, because I got a lot of clarity about what vision really does entail in English. Okay, because you get all of this wispy stuff, Caren. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Woo, woo, and it's like nailing Jello to the wall. I need
Yes.
something that makes sense. So, I thank you. I tell everybody we do not do convoluted crap at Biz Chicks. Good
Nope.
morning, Jerry. How you doing? So we invite you to go back and watch the replay. It's really clear as to what vision entails. I thank you for that,
You're
for
welcome.
walking us through that and making it plain. And then maybe next week we can talk about mission a little more.
Yes, yes,
Would
we're
that be
going to,
possible?
yeah, we're going to the mission. Yes, we're
Okay.
going to the mission statement because I really want you to sit down. Here's the other part. I really want you to sit down, and with what I give you there, you can now go and write your vision
Mm,
statement for your business. And don't worry, like it's gonna be crap initially. Just write it out, write whatever, do a couple of visits with it until you
uh-huh.
like what you have and know that's your true vision speaking out. And over time you might have to tweak it, but that's okay. You want to get the core down. You want to really write that for you. This is for you. Eventually, of course, you could put it on your website, you could talk to people about it, but you really, really and truly want this is for you so that you have a place to go to. Especially if you decide to doubt yourself for a little bit, when things are not going where you want it to go.
Mm. Okay, there you go, guys. You heard it from Coach Caren. Thank you, Jerry. Jerry says I will go back and watch the replay.
Thanks, Mary.
All right. So meanwhile, we want to thank you because tomorrow is Healthy Happy Habits with Robin Shimizu at 9 o'clock. Linus Mullins is doing her, what do you call it, webinar on how to select an intern.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we're going to put that in the chat. If you didn't catch it from yesterday, it's in yesterday's chat and in Monday's chat. The link to sign up. It's not too late. You can get in on the webinar. And we just want to thank you, Coach. You always do such a fabulous job. We thank you also for your faithfulness. Caren shows up here every Wednesday to give you good information and to encourage you in your business. So we want to encourage her. And if you're looking for a money mindset coach, please look for Coach Caren, who is now branded as, say it again,
Profit in Dairy.
Property Daily.
Yeah.
Correct. So you can find her on Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, wherever. She's all over the web. It's kind of hard not to be able to find Coach Caren. That's Caren with a C. And
Yes, you'll find me everywhere. And soon, in a couple of weeks on YouTube, At Home with Coach Caren is coming on YouTube.
oh, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. It sounds relaxing.
Yes, that's the idea.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I just want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.